Hello, hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. In the last episode, we were just having another round of party camp talks, just making sure that everyone is still doing okay. We only have to talk to Bodan, Sandal, and Alistair, and then we are good to head on down to Redcliffe. And seeing as we're stood right next to Bodan, I think we'll start with him.
If there's anything I can do for you, please tell me.
So, what's your story exactly?
I suppose since you told me about you being a Grey Warden, it's only fitting for me to be as open. I'm originally from Orzammar, just as you are, I suspect. You don't have the look of a surface dwarf about you. I was a merchant there, too. Merchant caste. These things are in the blood, you know. You can't just leave them behind. I ran a fairly successful business. Rare artifacts, you know. Old things, grand things. The nobles loved them. Reminded them of the lost glory days, I suppose.
Why did you leave? Go on. Our glory isn't lost, just the short version will do. Artin is very proud of her heritage. But at the same time, she's also willing to admit that we are dying down there. That's why she's so progressive in her thought process, is because in her mind, their glory is lost, but they can still reclaim it if they would just open things up to the surface and have better rights for the casteless. So as much as I do want to say number 3, because I think that could create an interesting conversation, I just don't think it's something that Artin would say. Why did you leave?
One day, a noble woman came to my store. She looked around for a bit and then started shrieking in dismay. Apparently, she believed that a pair of braces I had for sale once belonged to her brother. He'd been lost in a cave-in, you see, while on an expedition to clear out the Darkspawn from one of the tunnels running close to the city. They were made specially for him. They're unique, she shrieked. He stole them from my poor brother's corpse. She had me arrested on the spot, of course. Nobles, they're touchy like that.
What happened then? And did you steal them? Well, I can understand why she was upset. I used to be a noble. Just the short version will do. Well, I think number 2 is quite an appropriate question. If they did steal them, then, you know, I think this lady had all the reason to be upset. And did you steal them?
Well, I didn't steal them. You see, I'd been paying these casteless thugs to venture out into the deep roads for me. The lost tigers, they're full of things that people left behind. Sometimes you can find a treasure, something worth a little gold.
I see. Isn't that stealing? Better to do something with them than leave them to rot. You stole from the tithes of the noble houses. How dare you? No, I think she can agree with them. It's better to bring these things back so that they can be looked at than leaving them to rot. Better to do something with them than leave them to rot.
That's exactly how I see it. The noblewoman, she wasn't too happy with the theft of her brother's braces. I don't know what they planned for me, and I didn't want to find out. Bribed the guard that was watching me and took off for the surface first opportunity I got. Never looked back.
And now you're here. Fascinating story, thank you. You're quite lucky to have done so well. Yeah, he has done very well on the surface, I think. You're quite lucky to have done so well.
I thank the stone every single day. Now, is there anything the boy or I can get you?
We could ask him where did the goods come from and why he didn't mention Sandal. However, I think I'll leave those for another day. Let me see your wares, Bodan.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Now then, I did sell a lot of stuff to the guy in the Circle Tower, but did I miss anything? Well, 80, so we can sell these 2 daggers. We can also sell this one. And we can also sell the axe. Armor. Well, we can sell this one. You know what? I'm not going to use either of these on Morrigan, so these can go. The Blood Dragon Plate. This is another one I don't tend to use because Bodan has the rest of the stuff. The gauntlets, the helmet, and the boots. And I think there's just better stuff out in the world, so I think I am going to get rid of that. Ooh, that would be good for Thorin, I think. Ooh. But I think I'm going to leave it just for now. Okay, let's see. I'm going to keep hold of that just in case. Alistair, these are not better than what you have, and I don't think they're better than what Sten has. So they can go. Chainmail. Again, not better than what Sten has. Oh, is that better than... No, it isn't. And Alistair. Yep, so those can both go. And I'll keep everything else here just in case. We can get rid of the silver ring. And I'm also going to get rid of Shiver. Yep, I think that is all right. Oh, we have another Tome of Physical Technique. Do we have another? We have another backpack. Oh, I want those. I really want those. I think I'm also going to grab the lesser health poultices. Yeah, I am going to grab that. And the backpack. There we go. Very nice. We do, now that we know that Sten likes paintings, we can give him the water-stained portrait. Yep, I think I'm good with all of that. Yeah. Rightio. Now then, where is that tome? Thank you. And let's see. We did also find out that Morrigan likes jewelry. So, yep, that's a picture.
I am impressed. My thanks.
That's a book. We've got all of these spirits, but we don't know who would like some alcohol, so I'll just hold on to them. Morrigan, my dear, here is... Silver chain.
I am grateful. 'Tis thoughtful indeed.
The golden rope necklace.
A fine gift. You have my thanks.
The ring.
Interesting.
Oh, was the ring not for Morrigan? And the silver bracelet.
Interesting.
They could have just been miscellaneous gifts. Like, you could give them to anyone and it would get you, like, 1 or 2 approval. Which is, I think is what the wine and the ale do. But yeah, I think that's good. Okay. Now then, what do I want to pick up? Oh, I could get coup de grace. But lethality and evasion are also very good. Automatic backstabs against stunned or paralyzed targets. Ooh, I do like a good passive. Yeah, I'm gonna go for that. Thank you. Now then, Alistair, my dear. You're the last one we need to talk to, and then we can head off.
What do you need?
I'd like to ask you something.
Ask away.
What can Templars do exactly? Tell me about the Grey Wardens. So you said you were raised by the Chantry. He did mention that in the Circle Tower in some banter, I believe. But considering we're just at the Circle, I think we should ask him about his Templar abilities. What can a Templar do exactly?
Essentially, they're trained to fight. The Chantry would tell you that the Templars exist simply to defend. But don't let them fool you. They're an army. The other main purpose for a Templar is, of course, to hunt mages. To that end, we train in talents that drain mana and disrupt spells.
So couldn't others learn these talents? So Templars use magic themselves? Have you hunted many mages? Seems like the Templars could run the Chantry. They can train in talents that drain mana and disrupt spells. That probably would sound like magic to Artin. So Templars use magic themselves?
You could call it that, sure. The Chantry doesn't look on it the same way, however, since really our talents only work on mages. Against a regular person, I'm just a guy in a metal suit.
Have you hunted many mages?
No, I never actually became a full Templar. Duncan recruited me before I took my vows. I was only present during one harrowing. The ritual that they test the mages with. It's not unlike our joining, really. And just as deadly. The girl they tested, she had a demon put inside her to see if she could resist. And she couldn't. We had to end it quickly. I have to say I didn't have much interest in becoming a Templar after that.
Seems like the Templars could run the Chantry.
You'd think that. But it's not so. The Chantry keeps a close rein on its Templars. We are given lyrium to help develop our magical talents, you see. Which means we become addicted. And since the Chantry controls the lyrium trade with the dwarves, well, I'm sure you can put two and two together.
So you were addicted to this lyrium. That's horrible. I can't believe they would do that. Sounds like an excellent method of control. It does sound like an excellent method of control. It's also incredibly horrible. That is an interesting thought, though. Was Alistair addicted? So you were addicted to this lyrium?
Thankfully, no. You only start receiving lyrium once you've taken your vows. You don't need lyrium in order to learn the Templar talents. Lyrium just makes Templars' talents more effective. Or so I was told. Maybe it doesn't even do that. The Chantry usually doesn't let their Templars get away, either, so they can spread their secrets. I'm a bit of an exception. Lucky me.
So, funnily enough, David Gader actually confirmed that Alistair had taken lyrium. He was addicted. He's lied right there. Oh, Alistair.
What do you need?
I'd like to ask you something.
Ask away.
So, you said you were raised by the Chantry?
Oh, did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfells. A whole pack of them, in fact.
That would explain the smell. I'm sorry, I thought you said you came from the Chantry. Really? That must have been tough for them. I don't like any of these options. Because Alistair, Artin can definitely tell that Alistair is being sarcastic right now. And two implies that you can't tell that he's joking. Number one is joking along with him, which I don't think Artin would do. I think Artin is getting very frustrated with Alistair's joking. Really? That must have been tough for them.
Well, they were flying dogs, you see. Surprisingly strict parents, too, and devout Andrastians to boot.
And these dogs sold you to the Chantry, I take it? That is what they say about Anders. Raised by flying devout dogs, I see. Cunning, do you write at least? I bet your mother's a bitch. Ooh. I want to go for the cunning, but I don't want to be mean to Alistair's mother. Oh. I genuinely don't know what to do. Not number two, that's joking along with him. I think it's between 3 or 4. I mean, if you say number 4 with an eye roll, I reckon that would work. Do you ride at least? I bet your mother's a bitch.
Alright, I give. I cannot match your rapier wit.
Thank you.
Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Artin wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough.
Why did he send you off to the Chantry? He wasn't your father, so you know who is, but you blamed him then, I take it. Why did he send you off to the Chantry?
Artin eventually married a young woman from Loghain, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, then you, Arlessa, resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10, just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
You were probably luckier than most orphans. Wasn't it inappropriate for the Arl to raise an orphan? What an awful thing to do to a child. That sounds like a bunch of whining. Whether it was inappropriate or not is kind of... It's kind of immaterial. Either the Arl is a good man or he took a particular interest in Alistair. I've mentioned this before, but I think because the dwarves have such a low fertility rate, I think that all children are kind of viewed as precious. Kind of like the Krogans in Mass Effect. I believe Rex had a speech set talking about how he doesn't like the fact that they coddle the children that are born because there are so many stillbirths and it kind of softens their species. I think it was something like that. I haven't played Mass Effect for myself, so I may be taking that completely out of context. But yeah, considering children are precious to the dwarves, I think you would treat a child, even if it wasn't your child, you would still treat them well. And so I think a grown woman despising a 10-year-old is not only awful, but very pathetic in Artin's eyes. What an awful thing to do to a child.
Maybe. She felt threatened by my presence, I can see that now. I can't say I blame her. She wondered if the rumors were true herself, I bet. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Arl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming.
And you think the Arl will help us? Are you sure he isn't your father? You were young. Again, I don't think it matters if the Arl is Alistair's father. It shows well of him that he wanted to visit this kid. And they clearly had some kind of a connection, given that he took him in, he raised him for 10 years. He wanted to see how he was doing. And I think, you know, like, you're 10 years old, this lady's been a colossal hag to you, she's sent you away, and the Arl didn't do anything to stop her. Now that is a thought. If he was such a good man, why didn't he say, you know what, no, I'm not sending this kid away, you need to learn to be less paranoid. I get that must have been painful for her to be constantly thinking, is this my husband's love child with another woman? But one, I'm pretty sure that Artin married the Arlessa after Alistair was born, so it's not like there was any cheating rumours. I've just kind of talked myself into not thinking Artin's a good person, huh? To be fair, I never thought he was a good person because of things that happened later on in the game, but Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'll talk about it when the time comes. Okay, what am I saying? Yeah, he was young. He was, impetuous, I think is a good word for it. You were young.
And raised by dogs. Or I may as well have been, the way I acted. But maybe all young bastards act like that. I don't know. All I know is that the Jarl is a good man, and well loved by the people. He also was King Kaelin's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story.
Oh. You know, one good thing about the Blight is how it brings people together. Alistair was a novice Templar when Duncan recruited him into the Grey Wardens, or rescued him, as Alistair would like to say. His mother was a serving girl who died when Alistair was very young. He was raised by Qwinn, Jarl of Redcliffe for a time. The Jarl's wife, Isolde, suspected the reason her husband took an interest in the welfare of a servant's child was that Alistair was Eamon's son. She insisted that the boy be sent away to the Chantry. So, either Alistair is Eamon's son, in which case, everything I said about Eamon being a good person, scrap that, because he's just gone, yeah, this kid's my son, but my new wife doesn't like him, therefore you can go to basically an orphanage. Or Alistair isn't Eamon's son, Isolde was just being paranoid, in which case Eamon went, this kid annoys you. I've been looking after this kid for 10 years. I've kind of become an adopted father figure. Screw this kid to the orphanage. Either way, that doesn't... I know I spent like 5 minutes talking about how good man Eamon sounded, but with that bit of information, it's not looking like Eamon is as good a person as I thought he was, as Artin thought he was. Now then, we've spoken to everyone. I've cleaned out my inventory. So I think with that, we can head on down to Redcliffe. Okay, now who do I want to take? We want to bring Alistair.
Yes.
Because he knows Eamon. Eamon is sick, but would it be wise bringing Alistair? Because presumably the next person in charge would be the Arlessa. The Arlessa doesn't like Alistair. But Alistair is a grown man now, and he can speak up for himself, so I think I'm still going to bring him along. I don't think bringing Morrigan or Sten would be wise. We're going to bring Thorin, because Mabaris are a sign of respect in Ferelden, and having a Mabari at your side shows you to be a person of worth, so that will impress people. And there's been so many mentions of the Jarl being sick, so I think bringing a healer is wise as well. There we go. And we don't want to go to Flunnithel. Yep. Lothering, a small town just off the Imperial Highway at the edge of the Hinterlands, destroyed by Darkspawn. Oof. Now then, we're going to head down to Redcliffe Village. Oh, we're going that way. And we have an encounter.
I bring word, sire. There are demands from the Bannorn that you step down from the Regency. They are said to be gathering their forces, as are your allies. It appears it will be civil war after all, despite the Darkspawn. Pity. I also have an interesting report. There seem to be Grey Wardens who survived Ostagar. How, I don't know. But they will act against you. I have arranged for a solution, with your leave.
The Antivan crows send their regards.
An assassin?
Against Grey Wardens, we will need the very best, sire.
And the most expensive.
Just get it done.
Hello, Zevran. Zevran Aranai. The crows send their regards. Between the Tevinter Imperium, Loghain, and the Free Marches sits the nation of Antiva. Although it possesses few resources of its own, Antiva's location makes it a centre for trade in the north, and the capital, Antiva City, is the wealthiest in the world. Antiva has virtually no army. The monarchy is too weak to support one. Most Antivans would be hard-pressed even to name the current king, as the true power lies in the hands of a dozen merchant princes, each with a personal army and each locked in a constant struggle for power against all the others. Anyone would think, then, that Antiva would be a ripe target for invasion by one of her neighbours. But even the Qunari leave Antiva alone for one very good reason. The House of Crows. The most efficient, most feared, and most expensive guild of assassins in the world calls Antiva their home, and their reputation alone defends the borders. We also have Al-Rendon Howe. It appears it will be civil war after all, despite the Darkspawn. Pity. The Arling of Amaranthine winds along the sinuous northeastern coast of Ferelden. The waking sea is known for its temper, and the storms that sweep in from the warmer northern waters are sudden and brutal. These are the lands of Rendon Howe. He was born during the occupation, and like many of the nobles at the time, joined Prince Maric's rebels. He fought alongside young Bryce Cousland, future Turn of Highever, and Leonis Bryland, future Arl of South Reach, at the bloody Battle of White River. It was the most catastrophic defeat of the entire occupation, from which only 50 rebel soldiers escaped alive. Although he was decorated for valour by King Maric, Howe's abrasive manners have earned him almost universal dislike among his peers. And we have Loghain MacTyr. Understand this. I will brook no threat to this nation, from you or anyone. Loghain was born a farmer during a time when his country was under foreign occupation. When he was still a boy, he joined the Resistance, where his considerable tactical genius quickly became apparent. He became close friends with Prince Maric, the last true heir to the Ferelden throne, and together they led the rebels to drive out the forces of the Orlesian Empire. Maric raised his friend to the nobility, and Loghain is now more a symbol than a man. He represents the Ferelden ideals of hard work and independence. During the battle at Ostagar, he fled the field, leaving Kincaelan and the Grey Wardens to die. He then returned to Denerim, and declared himself the regent to his daughter, Queen Anora, demanding that Ferelden follow him against the Darkspawn, upsetting a great many of the bands. His actions sparked a civil war. Loghain's supporters found themselves fighting their neighbours who blamed Loghain for the death of the king, as well as those who simply wished to take advantage of the power vacuum. Okie doke. Now, where are we? Oh, Brea Jome. We know that name. That's the man who sold that scripture. He spake the word to the mages in the tower, who all thought it was. They thought it was like the first words of the Maker.
Ah,
oh,
a fellow traveller of the fair lands. Are you a seeker, perchance? My packs are light, but I have a tome of strange origin. The Deus V Eternus, rumoured to be the last message to a sinful world from the Maker himself.
Did you sell a few copies to the Circle Tower? Not so strange. I have 5 copies. You're a forger and a liar. Not so strange. I have 5 copies.
Ah, will the wonders of this all too small a land never cease? Well, they will for you. Get them!
Now then, can I? Yes, I can. Excellent. So we want to go 2 strength, 1 constitution. Okie doke. Now then, you can get marked.
Yeah.
And everyone, get on him, please.
Maker!
Don't run away from me. Oh, no, 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 no. I did not realise. I think we're going to wipe here. Oh, damn it. Okay, you drink a potion. You can't. Yeah, I think we're gonna wipe here. Oh, bugger, when was the last time I saved? You can't. And you're a dog, so come on, drink. Now then, drink, puppy. Let's get you some small amount of health. Can you take health poultices? I mean, I'll give it a try. Can you do that?
Right.
Oh my god, you can. Okay, I'll take that. Kick him. And... Ooh, but we're almost... Well, come on, there we go. Now then... Let's be smart about this. Okay, Alistair, could you please attack that guy? Thank you. And I'm going to go after the mage. Come on. Get him. Flurry. Oh. Okay. Is everyone alright? Ooh. Is there someone else here?
Of course.
I'm guessing the music's not stopping because we need to run next to Qwinn to get her up. Yep, there we go.
Nimble as I was.
You okay, Qwinn? Okay, she seems to be fine. And thank you very much. Ooh, that... I thought we were going down for sure. I didn't expect there to be a mage up on the hill. Okay, but we have taken out Bayer Joan. That's the mages who all got conned out of their money avenged. And we could carry on to Redcliffe. However, I am just about out of time for this episode. So, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below. And if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.